Hey guys, what's up? This is Carlos here. I'm here to bullshit about movies for a minute. I mean, I know a lot of you probably don't give a shit, but I'm gonna ramble anyway for a couple of minutes. I just wanted to talk quickly about Arrow Video, Arrow releasing. I just love these guys. I love everything that they've been doing lately, and I just had to make a quick video just to appreciate them. But anyway, Arrow Video has been around for over a decade now, pretty much mostly in the UK, and dealing a little lower end over the years, mostly in DVDs and stuff. But in the last few years, they've really started ramping up their game, and they've opened up US releasing now, and just widening their net with their releases and the work that they're doing on them. I know in the early days they stumbled a little bit with some of the transfers. They botched a couple of things here and there, and you'll see people freaking out about them online and stuff. But as 2K and 4K resolutions, restorations have become easier to do, they've really stepped up their game. They're I'd say on the level with Criterion. Like, not everything is perfect, obviously, like with any company, but most of their stuff looks gorgeous. It's fantastic. And what I like about them is that, unlike Criterion, that does mostly respected art house type movies, they deal more in schlock and cult movies, stuff that a lot of times you wouldn't even heard of. I mean, like, look at this for example. Like, look at this sizzle reel. Just example of some of the stuff that Arrow has, and this is one of their older ones too. It's not all cult movies that they do, though. I mean, they do deal in some of the more mainstream stuff, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. They did a special edition of that. Bride of Reanimator, Hills Have Eyes. Those are smaller horror gems, but they're still pretty well known. Remo Williams, like, for example, I picked this bad boy up just because I love Arrow. I mean, I'd heard of Remo Williams over the years, but I didn't really have any interest or know much about it at all. But in watching this, I love it. It's fucking fantastic. It's one of my not my favorites, but it's up there now. I love this movie, and I'm pretty mad that I hadn't heard of it until now. But that's my meaning, is that movies that you a lot of times wouldn't have known or checked out or heard of, you get the chance now with Arrow, and you really stumble across some amazing movies. I mean, like, perfect example is director Nico Mastorakis. They've been putting out a bunch of his titles, a bunch of his movies. Island of Death, which is, I never really heard of that movie or the director, but yeah, looking at the cover even of the Arrow release, I would have never given that movie a second chance, even reading the synopsis or whatever about it. But anyway, my girlfriend picked that one up, and we watched it, and I was just floored. I was blown away by how ahead of its time it was, and even graphic to this day. It pushes boundaries, and it was a great film. And through that, we watched some of his other movies, like Zero Boys and like Hired to Kill Here, which is a fantastic 90s action movie. It's so ridiculous, but it's amazing, by that director. And I never heard of this guy before that, and I consider myself a film buff, especially for the more cult stuff. But again, thanks to Arrow, me being a fan of them, I just wanted to check out whatever they put out from their catalog, and so we stumbled across Nico Mastorakis and realized how awesome he is. So that's just one example of how they make things more They put the awareness out there, and that's amazing to me. What really impresses me the most is how out of their way they go with a lot of the special features. The restorations are great, and I know that's what's most important to a lot of people. But me personally, I love special features and behind the scenes stuff and any extras that they can offer. And when it comes to Arrow, they try to dish out as much as possible. Obviously, every movie's different, and different things are available to put together, but they usually go all out. Like some of the documentaries on some of these movies has been crazy. It's been off the hook. Like I learned so much about film history, both cult and regular film history, and in a lot of these features, especially with some of these film experts that they bring on to talk about this stuff, and it's fantastic. It's a great portal to learn. And not only that, the presentation of the packaging alone. Like I mean, like look at this. Like they do special new artworks for most of their releases, and like this is what you'll see in stores most likely. Is their new commissioned artwork, just like Criterion and Shout likes to do. But like Shout, they're awesome enough to include usually the original poster art or some other key art on the reverse if you don't like the new artwork that they've included. So that's awesome as well. I love that feature when these boutique labels offer that. Really impresses me. And of course you get these booklets with them, which are always fantastic. They vary in size, but they give great essays on the movies themselves, and then have their technical info at the back about the transfer, just like Criterion. Look at their catalog, Arrow Video. They're putting stuff out in the States now too, but I mean, even if you import some of the UK releases, they're not all region locked. So some of them, if you check and look online, you'll see that they do actually play in North America if you're kind of wary on importing stuff. But yeah, look at their catalog, and if you see anything that kind of strikes you as maybe somewhat interesting, whether it be an actor, director, a premise of the movie, I would say give it a shot, because a lot of the stuff that they put out I was pleasantly surprised by. But yeah, check them out if you get a chance. I really love what Arrow's doing, and I hope they keep up the fantastic work. Well, that's it for now. Hopefully you guys will want to hear me bullshit about Blu-rays or movies some more. Probably not, but whatever. I'm here anyway. So take care, guys. See ya.